Final game coming up, game 3 of 3. Winner here is your European Challenger champion. Let's bring it to it right now.
And whoever wins is going to get that first important seed to go against the bottom SPL team, as well as a little bit more more coin in their purse.
Yeah, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Whatever, we'll get the first pick and the first ban going against Cyclone. And like we said, I mean, usually we break this down saying, all right, in game number 1, this is what happened, and this is how the response was, or this, that, or a third. Game 1, Cyclone came out and, well, did this, or game 1, we saw a team come out and just stomp everybody. Game 2, we saw the other team come out and just stomp everybody. So what do you do here, Toli? You flip a coin?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. I'm just going to flip a coin. I'm not going to be a betting man on this one, honestly. It's all going to be dependent on the early game, obviously. Both of these two teams, it seems to just snowball off of their early aggression. If they're able to find these picks, they get the objectives shortly after. So it's very important for the team on the bottom end of that trade to find something earlier on so that they don't keep slipping as the game progresses.
Important bans coming out from whatever. We see the Fafnir again banned against Kalas. We saw what he could do with it earlier on in the day, so definitely want to take that away. And the Ymir has been a little bit too powerful. I agree with the Giannis and the Bacchus bans as well. And again, we always talk about these land metas or these micro metas that we see in sets. Perfect example of it right here. Fafnir, Ymir, Bacchus, Giannis bans. These bans are because of these teams.
Yeah, normally we see the Kuang being banned at this stage of the game, or the Raijin, but both were open. Kuang instantly being picked by whatever. They're going to try to get into a good mid to late game with that hyper carry damage. Cyclone responding, trying to mitigate that damage with the Geb shield, as well as making sure that whatever doesn't pick up the Raijin to complement the Kuang.
Everybody seemed to like what they played last time around. HalfDevil picking up the Sobek one more time. We're going to see Wlfy reprise his role on Raijin. Whatever's got one more pick in their first half of selection. And it's going to go the Apollo. Whatever, one more time, will allow Lofes to play their Global Hunter. Love this selection, and real talk, I think the Apollo choice for Lofes might be what could tilt the game in whatever's favor.
Cyclone, if they want to respond global versus global, you should be leaning more on the Jing Wei, so when you leave the fountain, you try to match that speed of the Apollo ultimate. Unless you just want to sit and farm, maybe throw a Neith in there. Unless you're looking for that aggressive level 2 play the way NBK did last game, where he jumped into level 2, found that early poke.
I mean, we've seen that from NBK, not just in this series, but historically NBK played in the Pro League a couple of splits ago. So we've seen NBK. He is an aggressive player. He's a fighter. And Anhur, certainly a fighter. Yes, absolutely. Ban out the Hun Bats. Very important pick for both teams, honestly, this set so far. So if you're going to be the team with the Kuang, you definitely want to ban that Hun Bats and the Susanoo.
There would just be too much control with the Geb that would set up the Raijin. Even if it's Hunbats or the Susanoo, you got the Cataclysm, the knockup, the Fear No Evil. Raijin would have capitalized so well off that. And I like the bans also from Cyclone, taking away the Zeus, making sure that there's not too much setup damage for Kuang to get somebody into that execute threshold.
Now the Nemesis selection here. The Nemesis selection is interesting. Obviously Raijin, a burst-oriented character, but next to the Anhur and the Geb, I mean, it's not quite the stun Vulcan ultimate, right? How do you feel about Nemesis in this unit?
In this position, you're trying to take advantage of HalfDevil's aggression, making sure whenever he initiates with his charge prey, you're going to dump every single ability. You're going to use the Nemesis ultimate, the Taiko drums, and you're going to blow him up, get that first pick, and then go from there.
So it's for the punishment, whereas Bellona is going to be your initiator primarily here alongside Geb. Now, whatever, we're actually going to see one of the, I don't know if I want to call it the European Classic. This is just an interesting, it's meta, but it's something a little bit different, that old Neith mid. We see it from time to time pulled out by a number of teams, both NA and EU. And this mid lane Neith offers interesting stuff. So the Neith and the Athena combination will provide a lot of the global presence, and of course the Apollo can as well. But Neith primarily brings a ton of clear to the mid lane, which will allow her to hurt Wlfy a little bit in the early game.
And it synergizes very well with the Athena taunt. You finding the root after the taunt, you don't get the diminishing returns. The CC lasts a little bit longer of the person that's going to stay in place, which is going to allow Pikachu to consistently get off his damage to find somebody in that execute threshold, and then land back down and continue the team fight.
HalfDevil continuing to go the way of Wrath. Again, it's been a very, very long time that HalfDevil has been playing Smite, and once upon a time, it wasn't an option. You had to buy Wrath if you were the support. That was what you had to do. HalfDevil going back to his roots, buying Wrath all 3 games here in our finals. And honestly, it secured a number of objectives for them last game. I'm not going to say it obviously didn't win the game, but it certainly put the team in a position to make very good use of their situation.
Yeah, that second goal Fury that whatever tried to force was just a little bit too much because they lost 3 members in the process and then Fire Giant shortly after. So it wasn't the better trade. As long as they're able to force these objectives, but very carefully that they don't lose that many members, then it's not a bad idea to get the Wrath. You get the execute threshold at about 1250 health, so that's a lot of damage, especially when you also had the Sobek and the Scylla that last game.
You know, you say 1250 when you're not exact, or you say about when you're not exact. 1250 is the exact number, totally. Come on now. You're always on point with your details. You can't give us the, I'm going to estimate that it's 1250 damage. It is 1250 damage.
Well, it was 1,000, and then the next patch that happened, it bumped it up to about 1250. So
all right.
I don't want to get a Reddit thread on about me. It's like, oh, he was wrong. It's not 1250. It's
all right, I
1,000
respect
still.
it. Cyclone pick up the fire elementals. They get about 90 gold as Loves returns to the left lane.
And Loves might about get in trouble. No, he's just going to walk away. No pressure.
No mess?
It looks like there was no cooldowns available on the side of Cyclone. They used it to clear the wave as the Impale just now coming off cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, usually, that is a dangerous path to walk down, especially without the Mez available. You can see he puts 2 points in the So Beautiful. So very dangerous pathing coming out from Lopes, but certainly had the knowledge of the Impale. Otherwise, we just don't see that path.
I love this idea from Callus, rolling in from far away, getting off more damage during the roll, able to clear the wave. And now with that, Cyclone has the archers at their advantage and just trying to get the pokes out. But the Anhur is pretty low, so it has to respect the fact that Lofes is ahead in the health category.
Yeah, he's just fighting these basics over and over again. Callus certainly looking to be the strategic player here. Not a surprise either. Some fun background info. When we were over at DreamHack, we were having lunch, and in the lunchroom at our hotel there was a number of board games, and Callus was just running people down, beating everybody at Othello. So strategy, certainly one of his strong suits. And you can see the strategy over here. Cyclone rotating all the way to the left-hand side. Callus gets the knockup, and there's the ultimate out of Wlfy. 1 down as Wlfy gets the first blood, and Love's going to be safe underneath his own tower. Double rotation from the mid lane, secures it, and whatever, on the back foot again.
Just perfect accuracy coming out of Wlfy, not missing a single shot of the Taiku drums, and finding that first blood is going to allow Cyclone to maybe snowball a little bit, coming back into the mid lane to get their own wave, going to push out the next one shortly after, and they could set themselves up for an invade as they get a little bit more gold off of that first blood.
You know, Wlfy's looking fantastic today. We really haven't, even in the game that they lost today, totally, Wlfy hasn't really seen, like, just looking very strong in general. I'm really enjoying this play, specifically on the Raijin.
And that's why he was normally banned out earlier on. But like when you start banning out other guides in solo lane, for example, or in the support position like the Bacchus earlier on, then Raijin gets through, Kuang gets through. So Pikachu could potentially go off at this game also.
Yeah, we're certainly waiting for that, and you know you can see the Raijin, especially with the purple pot. You can see the Raijin effect early on. Kuang, on the other hand, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. He's level 6 at the moment. Really, Kuang doesn't start to. Kuang doesn't really exist until like level 7 or 8, eh?
Definitely not until levels later on. You kind of threw me off there. I'm sorry. But yeah, with the Neith will allow the Kuang to set up. However, whatever is going to try to force out this Gold Fury, but Cyclone is here to respond. However, whatever secures the Gold Fury, Callus baiting himself out with the shield. Charge Prey was used on HalfDevil with Wlfy's ultimate that might find a return kill, but not as accurate as before. However, he's going to find the Thunder Crash.
Gonna get it with the teleport. Down comes Pikachu after he gets the ultimate, and Athena's gonna follow suit, but Apollo will fall down as NBK picks up another kill. Cyclone now, it's a 2-1 at the moment. 2-2 as HalfDevil picks up 1. Wlfy on the bad side of that. The Pikachu, he's gonna use Water Illusion and just drift away to the left side. Well played.
So barely able to escape from that, and looks like it was whatever that got the Gold Fury, and they did trade evenly, so not the worst thing in the world. They're not able to extend this little advantage. Gold Fury spikes back up, and then is slowly, surely down. As the wave starts to get cleared, we'll see that graph even out a little bit further on. Right side mid Harpies are available, and that's where Cyclone is positioned.
Expect to see that play a number of times, Totally. We see it here, and when is the Gold Fury going to respawn? About
3:50.
7 minutes? Yeah. So about 7 to 8 minutes. Pretty much expect that on cooldown, bearing the situation, right? Because specifically, Wrath.
The Wrath.
You can get in that situation, and Cyclone, they can only look for the kills, because no matter what, you're going to give the objective to whatever. There's no answer. There isn't, I mean, Raijin, even with Taiko Drums is not going to deal 1250 damage in a single shot. You have to bang on the drums, probably a paradiddle at least, and after that, the Wrath is already done.
The only thing that you can do is potentially CC the Athena long enough to get that damage off. You have Callus, who can get the Cataclysm knockup off, which might also buy Wlfy enough time to constantly get maybe some taunts or some fears, which would also allow NBK to get off his ultimate. So there's some strategy that Cyclone can still do to try to secure the Gold Fury, but they have to be in position for this Gold Fury around the 850 mark.
Another Nemesis ult, and they're looking for HalfDevil this time around. Wlfy will find it from a distance. And the support sits down one more time. 4-2 read the kills. And we're just 6 minutes in. This is a very aggressive game.
Luckily for whatever, there's no buffs to strip away on the left-hand side. On the right, the speed buff is coming up, and it looks like NBK is getting the better end of Wlfs currently, trying to deny more gold under the tower. Those archers not getting credited to Wlfs.
What a difference. Different world without the Golden Bow. With Golden Bow in, all of a sudden the tower starts attacking that Anhur. You see a little bit of aggression coming out the other way. Completely different story as we change some of the items. Jumping on in, the Athena ultimate's there. Mez and the Athena ult combined with the Neith ult. All of a sudden, NBK thought he was in a good spot, in a terrible spot. 1v1 turns into 2.5v1, and down goes the Anhur.
That's the one thing that a lot of players tend to forget. Even though you find an early pick onto the Athena, guess what? She still has her ultimate on respawn, and without the ultimate from NBK, and there was just nothing that he could have done to even find the return kill. Even if he did land that impale without an ultimate to follow up, he was gone. I
mean, it's also the Neith factor. I say this frequently. Whenever a Neith is on the team, you're never at 100% HP. You just don't have 100% HP. You have to always factor in the fact that the Neith ult is just going to come and ruin your life.
Have to be very careful about the globals coming out of whatever. Even on the right-hand side, the Sobek is level 9 against Deathwalker's level 11. However, the fact that he does have these two globals allows him to be this aggressive early on as a result.
Cyclone now just about even with whatever. You can see no numbers on the solo Sobek. Hasn't really had an impact into this game just yet. Quite a different story on the left-hand side. Is HalfDevil going to get in some trouble? Nemesis ulted and the follow-up, but the Pikachu able to find the kill at first, so whatever will even things up. It's now 4-4. Pikachu not quite done yet. Dodging and weaving all throughout the abilities coming out of Cyclone. Health differential in favor of whatever, but they just don't have the positioning. There's lurking in the waters. It's going to slow everybody down. Neith ultimate and the pop. Sobek gets a kill. He's on the board. 5 kills as whatever continues to press on, and just not enough to take, so the jungle will be aggressed on.
There's so much action back and forth between these two teams. The Gold Fury going outside of whatever, as well as now as these team fights that are going on their favor as well. And they found the 2 early picks here, and they're trying to strip away the boars, and now they're going to put pressure in the dual lane and the mid lane at the same time.
Wonderful play coming out from whatever, but I can't help but think it happened 20 seconds too early. With no Gold Fury to capitalize off of after that team fight, you've already made the surprise teleport rotation from your Sobek. In a perfect world, I think whatever makes that play 25 seconds later, the kills happen and they're able to get a Gold Fury. Instead, whatever will have to settle for, they don't even get the tier 1 tower. So whatever will basically have to settle for dual lane pigs and right side harpies.
But the thing is, they don't have to worry about getting the Gold Fury because there's no way Cyclone are going to try to go for Gold Fury against HalfDevil's Wrath.
Wlfy has different plans.
Well, they're going to try it as looking at where HalfDevil is. He's not really in position quite yet, but Cyclone don't really know where he is, so they're just going to respect that and disengage. Going to elect to clear the mid wave before they make any play on any side of the map.
So all tied up after a whole bunch of damage, honestly. A lot of nonsense going on between these two teams, whatever, find themselves just barely ahead by 1,000 gold. But pretty much, for all intents and purposes, we're tied up here, folks. No numbers here versus Deathwalker. Different story. We looked at a lot of aggressive matchups here in the solo lane. The Bellona versus the Wukong. Then the Wukong versus the Bellona. Now we see the Sobek versus the Bellona. Sobek obviously a little bit less aggressive in a 1v1 scenario. How does that one break down?
Well, I like the idea, first of all, because this is more of a team dynamic, putting a Guardian in the solo lane, whereas putting a Warrior, you're thinking more of a matchup specific.
I mean, that's the totally special, right? The Guardian in the solo lane?
It's a lot of people special. I wouldn't call it the totally special, but yeah, you're thinking of more CC, and as a response of this more CC between Sobek and Athena, now whatever is trying to get off more DPS by complementing that with the Neith and the Apollo, having a lot of good mid-game pressure with the Neith and then a lot of late-game pressure with this Apollo.
And then the just late-game domination from the Pikachu on the Kuang. So a lot of damage and just kills coming out, kill potential, I should say, coming out from the squad in blue. And that's exactly what they're going to do is they chase down mid lane. 4 players here pushing forward. Wlfy on the left-hand side. He'll be able to come over with an ultimate, but just a hair of HP left on the tower. So whatever, push in 4 players deep. Go for it. Cyclone now looking for the fight. Taunt from HalfDevil. Going to stop a lot of the initiation. And whatever Cyclone had planned, whatever stopped it.
Yes, and Wlfy used his ultimate thinking that a teamfight was about to pop off. But whatever, find the tier 1 tower, and that was their goal at the end of the day, even if they had to use the Apollo ulti just to make sure. But they're not going to actually commit to this goal here. They have a little bit of vision control, but Cyclone isn't biting.
That's trouble. There's a great stun. Wlfy turning it around with Deathwalker and iceicebabyy. Whatever had the game in their hands, and Cyclone ripped it out as Wlfy's just barely going to make it out. He's got 18 HP, and Cyclone will open the door and take the Gold Fury. Aiurz is here. Can he stop it?
I don't know, not if Deathwalker has anything to say about it. So Cyclone confirmed the Gold Fury, making sure that they're still in the game, about 1,000 gold ahead. And I love the patience out of Cyclone. They knew whatever was trying to bait that Gold Fury, and they didn't commit in that little corridor and hallway. And it was Cyclone the ones that forced that team fight in that little hallway, and they got off all their area of effect damage. They got the Callus ultimate off, they got Taiko drums, and that's what allowed 3 quick kills.
Well, right there, I mean, that's the second or third time we've seen whatever pull the same play. And I mean, as the old saying goes, man, you fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, well, you can't get fooled again.
That's right.
So when it comes down to it, I mean, Cyclone, they're like, hey, we've seen this one happen. We're not going to let this one go down. So instead, they turned whatever sort of, or going to hide behind the rock, and then when they show up, we're gonna hit them with all that we've got. Cyclone just turned that around and said, hey, when they show up and taunt us, we're going to hit them with everything they got. Colossus comes in, gets the triple ultimate, and stuns everybody. And Wlfy just bangs on the drums like a little drummer boy. And very quickly, kill, 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 kill. Easy peasy. Easy objective. Because of that, Cyclone now sit up 1,000, 2,000 gold.
And this is just showing that Cyclone can play both aggressive compared to the last game where they found the early 2 kills on the tier 1 tower, and they can play patient at the same time when they need to. So just utilizing a little bit of aggressive defensive and offensive tactics at their disposal.
Again, the strategy. Colossus is the captain here. Certainly a big part. Communication. HalfDevil in some trouble. No numbers, just trying to deal with Wlfy. He's going to pop and deal a lot of damage unless the Sanctuary stops, so that's exactly what goes on. Another triple stun from Colossus. Fantastic support play, and Deathwalker is going to reward him. Kill going on top of no numbers. It's all craziness here on the right-hand side. Cyclone now looking for a tower, but Aiurz is able to take out Ice before the Nemesis dashes away.
So 1-for-1 trade currently as the route is successful onto Deathwalker, and the rotation from Pikachu trying to find it, but not going to get the successful combo that he needs. Unfortunately, for whatever, Wlfy's trying to take advantage of this 2-level gap between NBK and elected to continue to push the duo side instead of making the rotation with his ultimate. At this stage of the game, he would have had enough mana to rotate over and make an impact in that team fight, but now he strips more gold and experience away from NBK with the wave and the red buff.
The red buff as well. And yeah, right there in the right-hand side, Cyclone got a little too aggressive, I think. The tower was still very, very healthy, and without being able to take it down, we saw the Nemesis fall down, so unable to really find that victory on the right-hand side. But as you noted, this left side going very well for whatever. So looking towards the Hunter position, that's really where whatever have to pivot this game if they want to find themselves on the top card.
And it's Apollo that's going to transition very well in the late game. Normally you see the Anhur, the one that's making the plays in the early to mid game with just his abilities, but with the rotation from the Athena in the earlier on in the game, that's what allowed Lofes to get that slight lead that he needs to. So now you could just leave him alone and then look for those solo plays. And looking at the builds currently in the support position, I elected to go for more of a utility style with a sovereignty on Colossus, whereas HalfDevil more trying to survive against both magical and physical with that Urchin.
Which I think makes a lot of sense. We've seen Cyclone routinely just put the Nemesis ultimate on HalfDevil. HalfDevil looking more for the self-defense because he needs it. Everybody on Cyclone wants to kill the Athena for good reason. Whereas whatever, they're more focusing some of the other targets. We're seeing Wlfy primarily be chased out. Great taunt from HalfDevil, who doesn't get the Nemesis ult this time. It's on Aiurz, who's nowhere there. He's going to look for an ultimate as Wlfy gets surrounded by players, gets rid of his. Double stun again from Colossus. Up in the air is Apollo, looking for a good target. Girdle's going to run out, and Apollo runs right in the back line. Finds a couple of basics, but quickly is disarmed by the Bellona. Roma Invicta finds two. Wlfy teleports to the backside, execute from the Pikachu onto Deathwalker.
And we have NBK on the side thinking about when to dive in. Pikachu trying to find the return, can gonna water illusion, but beautiful sanctuary out of Wlfy. Numbers finding the kill and the pluck onto
no numbers.
Finding another kill. 3 for nothing exchange so far in the favor of whatever. Gonna find a trade-off, however, losing Pikachu in the process.
Numbers takes an extra tower shot, but should be fine. Loves here, trying to find damage onto the tower. NBK gonna be mezzed out. There's the purification. So beautiful, will miss, and the dash away from the Hunter. The dash away from the support as well. Aiurz tries to find the shot through the wall. Can't and won't, but Ice now on the offensive, low HP. If he fights Aiurz, that's trouble.
Yeah. But the health disparity, there's just no reasoning to make this aggressive play. You don't know who else might be around that corner. The Athena ultimate is still down, so you don't have to worry about that. But regardless, whatever did a good job, only losing one member, found 3, stripped away some of the jungle away from Cyclone.
Even the small stuff there. You see, Aiurz makes a rotation on the right-hand side and is able just to push up the minions. If Aiurz just walks through the jungle and backs, there's no reason for Bellona to teleport. Taking the teleport off, now you've got the teleport disparity. Gold Fury up. You can make this play on the left-hand side without Bellona being able to teleport. And all that happened was a Spirit Arrow went into a wave of minions. Small things really make the butterfly effect incredibly dangerous.
And no numbers have to try to extend this by delaying the Bellona from getting back to the lane because of the fact that he is 2 levels behind.
And that's exactly what whatever is going to do. They're going to try and make the play over here on the left-hand side. The Pikachu in some trouble. Purification going to be burned out. Apollo up in the sky. Cyclone now aggressing onto the objective. Lofes back into lane.
It's going to clear it out as both soul laners are going to make the rotation. Sobek does have the teleport available, so if whatever wanted to force this fight, it would be a 5-on-4 advantage for a little while. But meanwhile, Bellona is trying to steal away the speed while both teams are just kind of jostling for position.
Yeah, Bellona, smart play just because nobody's paying attention to it. Actually going to turn around. There's the aggression onto the Hunter. NBK stuck. Will find an exit dashing. And the Pikachu just going to town on whoever's in front of him. There's the ultimate out of Athena. Saving the life of Pikachu, honestly. Very important damage reduction as HalfDevil is taken out. The Pikachu follows suit. Deathwalker on top of that one. NBK trying to do what he can on the backside as getting in trouble by no numbers.
Cal is doing a great job intercepting that World Weaver that was on iceicebabyy, but now the Nemesis ulti onto no numbers, trying to do a little bit of poke, making sure he's nowhere in position. Wlfy gonna get caught out. Purification a little late, but he still thunder crashes away, no problem. The sprint, trying to get whatever into this team fight. Double dash from iceicebabyy, but the chase is still on.
1. Sobek pluck's going to be up. Whether or not he wants to use it is a different story. We've already seen the sickening strike. Trying to find the tail whip, but it's all defense for no numbers. Everybody's low. Not just the blue team, not just the red team. Everybody's low. So as this fight continues, they're all just sort of gambling.
The only person to fall in that whole encounter was Pikachu, and that was because he used the Water Lucian aggressively, as well as HalfDevil earlier on. However, he tried to find the Anhur, and now whatever recognized that Cyclone back. There's nobody in position to stop this.
Love it. Whatever's going to go ahead and take the Gold Fury. And honestly, with the Gold Fury, Totally, they're going to take the lead. 9-11 of the kills, 19.5 on the clock. And although it's a slight lead, it's all about the momentum here, I would say. We call this game even. 500, 600 gold, this is even. But whatever, certainly are on the, they're feeling it, they've got the momentum, they're looking for the next play after that Gold Fury.
As this game progresses, the more it's going to favor whatever. You have a Kuang in the jungle just stacking up those late game items that he's going to get the Soul Reaver online very quickly as the game progresses, in about 5 or 6 minutes or so. And Cyclone are going to have to be very careful, because now that Water Lucian that he missed before is going to do so much damage.
Tons. There's a stun onto no numbers. He's surrounded by 4, finds a dash out into the ultimate. Nice save from the Athena and the Neith. That'll turn things around. No numbers. Safe and sound.
Just a little bit out of range for Pikachu, trying to isolate NBK. But meanwhile, in the process, left-hand side, Loves are able to get the Tier 1 tower and still playing aggressive, while Cyclone securing Tier 1 on the solo.
So 1 for 1 as far as the towers are concerned. Now it's all about the fight. No numbers, flips Geb into the tower. Tries to find some follow-up. A great ultimate one more time from Geb. There's the shell popped up by HalfDevil. So Wlfy's damage cut in half. Pikachu has the rotation from Athena. Sprint popped. Looks like whatever want to get aggressive. And you can see Loves still here hunting 1v1 on the left side. Totally content and totally confident to take this contest.
He has a chin size, whereas NBK doesn't, so it's definitely in Loves' favor to constantly take this team fight, to take this little 1v1 skirmish.
And Loves more looking for the tower than anything else. Gets knocked back and a lot of HP stripped away from him. Ice takes out HalfDevil. Execute available. He'll take out Geb. Good play from the Pikachu. Looking to follow up as Aiurz is here on the left-hand side. Ice in trouble as he's down. No numbers. Can't find a target. Got to play it safe. There's the knockup. Following it up. No numbers. No nonsense. Finds the pluck. And Ice now has the shield up, but is able to turn around on the Pikachu. And with the Pikachu down, that's trouble. But here comes Loves. This could turn it around, totally.
Unless the damage from Bellona. However, Loves taking it finally into his favor. Great rotation. It was about time, as NBK did stop his Tier 2 tower push earlier on. So overall, that was a 3-for-3 exchange. The Tier 2 tower is defended on the right-hand side. Almost securing the left Tier 2 tower in the process is Loves.
Ice has been so strong this entire set. And this Nemesis performance, not a disappointment either. 6-1-6 on the Nemesis. He's been so fantastic. And what's exciting about Nemesis is, or this Nemesis is best played in and outside of the team fights. And that's what we're seeing. I actually thought he died in that last team fight, because he comes in, double dash, shield up, does the damage, and then disappears till his cooldowns come back up. Once Slice and Dice is ready, you get the big old slow, and he's dealing out the basics. It's exactly how you want to play Nemesis, and it's why he's got 12 kill participation points, as I'll call him, and just a single death, because he's able to be there when he's relevant and dips out when he's not.
Finishing off his stone cutting sword as well, so he's going to be very mobile, able to chase down whoever his target is going to be. And having the frenzy for the Nemesis is not something that we normally see. Normally you try to get those defensive relics. You get the purification, you get the sanctuary, depending who you're against, especially against the high burst coming out of whatever between the Kuang and especially the Sobek.
I'm not sure I'm going to get used to you saying, I mean, the defense out of whatever. It just sounds really funny. But I mean, that's one of the big changes with the frenzy, as HalfDevil gets surrounded. He's in some trouble. Ultimate not in time. NBK gets credit for the kill on HalfDevil. Is the fact that frenzy now does attack speed as well. So Nemesis gets to almost double dip. The damage on her ability is definitely relevant, but after that Slice and Dice is down, it's all about the basic attacks. So the frenzy helping out in that regard, and Loves just doing what he's gotta, pushing down that left side.
And it looks like that Deathwalker did make the rotation, trying to defend the Phoenix, and recognizing it instantly. Loves going to make the rotation, landing onto 2. Going to dash aggressively, forcing out the ultimate out of Wlfy.
Big play now that the ultimate's down. Whatever, don't take too much damage from it either. Aiurz half, Pikachu half, but Aiurz can heal that up. 2 players caught up by Collins, but it's not going to be enough. There's the ultimate out of Anhur. Great tail whip. No numbers surrounded by 5, but whatever. They're on the backside. Aiurz taking too much damage. That's a lot. He's going to backflip, followed up, stomp down. Deathwalker gets the kill. 16 in total for his team. HalfDevil now being chased out. Great interrupt of the Bellona. Very important play. Pikachu takes him to the sky, puts him in the ground. Reinitiation after the flip from Sobek. Well done. And whatever, find themselves on the top side of a team fight, looking for the cleanups. Loves gets the last hit. Just Pikachu gets another one. And there's 1 dead on the side of whatever, and 3 dead on the side of Cyclone. No numbers wants to make that 4. Can't find it, though.
Not able to get the distance for the tail flip. And yet again, Cyclone, don't take into consideration Athena's ultimate was back up off of respawn and turn that fight around instantly. So now they lost too many members, and now they're going to lose their mid Phoenix in response. HalfDevil going to tank this before the wave occurs, and that Phoenix is gone.
See you later. Phoenix going down 25 minutes in. This has been a fantastic show for our best of 3. We get one team dominating game 1. The next game, absolute domination from their opponents. Game 2 has been all down the middle, almost no mistakes, except for the Pikachu falling down there. But this has been neck and neck the entire way. This is really the first real tangible lead that we've had the entire game. Game 1 and 2 ended at 22 minutes. I feel like 25 is where this one's starting.
And with that one pick, Cyclone instantly trying to force an objective. Gold Fury would be safer here, but they're confident enough that they could bait whatever and get another pick with the ultimates available.
Wrath's on cooldown. Wrath has 30 seconds on cooldown, so the objectives have been pretty easy for whatever, but this is a different story. There's the ultimate out of NBK, finds the kill, but Wlfy low himself, no numbers, pushes him out, and Ice takes out Aiurz, but numbers finally finds Wlfy. It's a 2-on-4. Numbers trying to protect his support, and he will. Cyclone get what they came for. They get a kill on Aiurz and Loves, but HalfDevil still alive. Pikachu and numbers as well. HalfDevil coming back with the ultimate. That's the important part because he's the one with the Wrath.
Yeah, and with this rotation, the Cyclone has to be very careful. They don't have enough burst damage to overtake the Wrath execute threshold, so they have to drop the Fire Giant, and this is something that whatever needs to just take advantage of. They could potentially chase this down, and that's exactly what HalfDevil is trying to do, trying to force his teammates to follow up. Hey guys, I got a taunt, follow this up.
And that's what no number is going to show up and do. Stun onto the Pikachu, but he'll be fine. Purification used up on the jungler. Frenzy popped, and everybody runs away from Cyclone, so a wasted active coming out from the red squad. That's a win for whatever.
No, Shell was popped by the Geb, so it was a 4-on-3. It was 3-on-3 earlier on for whatever, but once that 4th member came, they had to drop it. The idea was there, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they found that mid Phoenix, which is what the most important thing. And this was before getting Fire Giant. So this next team fight is so crucial for Cyclone because they have to defend Fire Giant and defend the midway from those fire minions.
So it's going to give Cyclone an opportunity to... They basically got one, and that's sort of what they're looking for. Cyclone has to stay local around the Fire Giant just to make sure that whatever don't get it for free. Very important stuff coming out there from Cyclone, but they know that they can't commit. Nobody's really there. Everybody's spread out on both sides of the coin. So no aggression on the objective just yet.
Not many sentry wards inside the pit, just kind of going on the perimeter. And looking at the wards place, both of these supports, Callouts and HalfDevil, just overtaken to engagement
Pikachu
from
caught
Callouts.
out. There's the ultimate, and NBK takes him out before Athena can even show up. Well played as Wlfy dashes forward. Numbers answers back. It's a 2-for-1 so far, and the dash coming forward. Numbers trying to find a way out. Surrounded, teleport marked, not good enough, but the rollout and knockup might be.
They're trying to find that 3rd kill that's very important because they can't really secure the Fire Giant. They need to get HalfDevil out of this team fight completely. They're going to land on top of no numbers, and he's going to barely able to get away. Going to buy more time as he gains health off of the wave. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Aiurz doing whatever he can, just pushing that fire wave down, and that's going to force the Bellona to back and deal with it.
Summer of Sobek, look at numbers just dashing away, man. No chance to catch up to the slippery Sobek. Numbers all the way just running around. You can see the team pinging him. They're mad, but he's gone. No numbers does exactly what he needs to do. Saves the life of HalfDevil. Then HalfDevil saves the life of No Numbers. Love to see the Guardians working together like that. And then No Numbers just able to slip away. And like you said, Aiurz doing whatever he can. Well, he's going to pick up a red buff. He's going to pick up a gold fury. Aiurz, the entire time everybody's Benny Hill chasing around these two Guardians, Aiurz just like, hey, I'll go to Costco and get whatever's on sale.
He wanted to try to get those fire minions into the Titan room, but luckily Deathwalker reacted quickly enough, so that Titan barely took any damage. The mid Phoenix has respawned for Cyclone, so now they don't really have to worry about any fire minions in the future. They're the ones that are being aggressive on the jungle of whatever.
Gold Fury down now as we approach a half hour of competition. Cyclone going to push down onto this mid lane. You can see Loves still has the idea. Great taunt coming out from HalfDevil, but he's all alone. Decent knock up from Kalis, but it's just not going to be enough. No Numbers helping his own. Good damage out of 3 players. And the flip is going to be counteracted by the double dash. Backside, Bellona trying to take the fight. Front side, Apollo taking everybody else to the cleaners. Pikachu in some trouble, has to find an exit. Wlfy as well, but he won't be able to. Great pluck as Aiurz takes out 2 different players. NBK in some trouble as well. And it's going to be No Numbers one more time. 6 kills for the Sobek.
And 3 for nothing now. Whatever, trying to get that 4th iceicebabyy, going to double dash away. That mid Phoenix is going to fall as every single member from whatever are probably going to try to maybe end the game, honestly, after this mid Phoenix. This is very well likely. It's possible. Pikachu is a little low, so it's a little risky for him. They do have red buff onto the Neith, so they might be looking for that left side as the Neith is positioned over there.
As soon as Neith made that left-hand turn, you know, I was with you until Neith made that left-hand turn. That immediately tells us that whatever want to take the safe way, they're going to look for the left side Phoenix. Looking at the death timers, NBK's got 20 seconds, but you're 15 on everybody else, so whatever will retreat. After the exchange, what was a very close game is now broken out completely. Whatever leading by 8,000 gold, despite trailing by a kill. Everybody has been on point, both whatever and Cyclone. Whatever has just pulled ahead by way of objectives.
And what's important is they're doing these objectives on the Phoenixes without securing the Fire Giant first, because they know they have a small window of opportunity to grab it, and the shot calling has just been on point for these Phoenix calls. And with that, 2 lanes having to be defended from Cyclone, this might give whatever a free Fire Giant.
Because it's about the pressure, right? You've heard us all throughout the regular season talk about how the early game is brought to you by mid pressure. But take that same idea and bring it to the late game. It's all about lane pressure in general. The Fire Giant, sure, it makes you scarier in a team fight, but like you were saying, the Phoenix is down, create that lane pressure because of the minions.
Gonna try to find a dash taunt onto NBK. Ultimate of Nemesis onto the Apollo. Gonna shield away. Kalis diving in the backline as well, lurking in the water. Trying to catch iceicebabyy. A lot of damage. He's gonna be the first victim.
Sobek, an important part of these team fights. The zoning from the ultimate, the knockups allowing Aiurz to find the damage. Lowe's going to avoid all of it from Wlfy. And now that the ultimate's down from the Raijin, that's a big trick of the bag already thrown out. Lowe's gonna put him in the ground. 0 players dead on the side of whatever. 0 players dead on the side of whatever. As 3 fall down, Cyclone have to defend. Doesn't look like they can. 32 minutes on the clock. Whatever leading by a whole bunch of gold. GGWE, your Challenger Cup champions are whatever. GG.
32 minutes this time around. It wasn't a short game like we saw in games number 1 and 2 where it was like 22-24, and it wasn't that much of a disparity this time around. Very close contest between these 2 teams all throughout.
Really, honestly, just a treat to watch. Like I said earlier, game 1 was dominated by a single team. Game 2 dominated by the secondary team. And then as we moved into game number 3, just a battle neck and neck until it came down to the final team fight. Absolutely love watching good smite like that.
So regardless of that result, whatever is going to be the first seed coming from the European Challenger Cup, and the second seed is going to be Cyclone. So moving forward into the relegations, whatever's going to be positioned a little bit more comfortably.
We'll see how it works out. Whatever definitely going to get the bigger side of the prize purse. And as we said, both of these teams will go on to face relegation, hoping to become one of your next favorite Pro League teams. It's been a long run watching these guys coming this far, and this set was certainly not a letdown. Why don't we look back as far as how this went? I think one of the biggest players on the side of the winning side was definitely No Numbers. Obviously, here he is on my personal favorite, Mr. Sobek, but his impact in the games, regardless of his choice, were very much the same.
His zoning, the whole set was just on point. There was one time in the mid lane where he was zoning with HalfDevil as well, where the Athena ultimate was being used just for damage. And I thought that whatever was just a little bit out of position, but it didn't matter because just the potential of the damage from no numbers was too much for Cyclone to handle.
And I love this replay because the entire beginning of it, you see no numbers just keeping everyone in check. He's looking at one player, he's looking at the next player, he's looking at the third player, making sure everybody is where he wants them to be. You mentioned it, zoning. That's basically what the solo laner is here for. Zoning doesn't always mean keep the players away from my players. It just means everybody needs to be where I feel like you want to be, right? So the Sobek successfully makes sure that everybody, all right, your space there, your space there, your space there, and then as soon as the team comes up, that's when everybody can collapse because we've got all this burst AoE and we're going to take care of it. So well done by no numbers, no nonsense at all. We've got his jungler on the line as well. It's the Pikachu. Congratulations, my friend. How are you feeling about those victories?
Feeling great. Winning my 3rd Challenger Cup in a row after not even being supposed to play this one. Definitely feels amazing.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to speak to you specifically about. As I said, I mean, you're well known in the Challenger Cup scene. I mean, I miss casting you. I'm glad I got to again. But as Forsaken sort of took a step back and allowed you guys to come in, how did that sort of happen? Were you guys sort of excited, surprised? Talk to me about that feeling about sort of being let into this this relegation matchup.
We were definitely surprised, but really happy. I believe they told us that we are going to play less tomorrow, like yesterday, and we were pretty happy that we have another chance. Definitely looking forward to relegations.
Excellent.
So you had a great, interesting change of style between games 1 and 2 versus 3, running the double Guardian, double Hunter. Is there a specific reasoning behind that against Cyclone, or is it just your own team style that you can mix and match these strategies?
We saw that what we tried to do on the first game didn't work. We tried to really go for early game comp, but after that didn't work. We just said, okay, we need to protect our backline. We have to play smart this game. We need to win this one. So we went for late game and for peel, and that worked.
So you guys coming into this one, as you said, you had to protect your backline. Now you've got to be a little bit aggressive. You're going to go up against the Smite Pro League teams. Obviously, it's up to them, whoever will go ahead and take you guys on. Which team would you rather fight, and how confident do you feel going into them?
We're feeling pretty confident after seeing that we have good synergy and getting first bet at this Challenger Cup. We're definitely feeling good about facing any team.
Excellent. Glad to hear it, man. And from the way you guys played, you should certainly feel very confident. Congratulations one more time on your victory. That, of course, is the Pikachu, the jungler for the new Challenger Cup champions out of Europe. The team, whatever. Love to see them play. And again, what a Cinderella story, Toli. This team, again, was not even supposed to be here. We had our 4 teams already set up. Forsaken, one of the teams, gave up their spot. They have some other plans going on. We'll see what happens later. But with that spot, there was a best of 1 situation. We saw the team, whatever, come up on top. And so they get their shoe in, they take it, and they run with it. They're your #1 team. What a show.
Yeah, they're the #1 European champions, but tomorrow we have the North American side of things for the Challenger Cup.
Exactly. North America will be showing here. I believe we start at 1 p.m., 12:30 is when everything will start getting ready. So hi-rez TV right here at 1 p.m. for the North America. Oh, wait, my mistake. We're live with the games at 12:30. So you definitely want to be here on time to check out all of that North American Challenger Cup action. My bad, won't happen again. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here. Congratulations to Whatever, as they are your new Challenger Cup champions, and everybody that has performed in the Challenger Cup this year. I wish you guys luck in your next season. For myself, Anatoly, Adonis, Hindu Man, Tiger, who is a wonderful asset and a wonderful player. Glad to have her here on the studio. And of course, Peckies, we'll see you tomorrow for some North America.